Whether it's a flying suit, a portable sliding mechanism, or a faulty catapult, ACME has it all. ACME products are a brand used in the Looney Tunes universe, known for their funny contraptions that don't really work, at least not in the way you expect them to. They are famous for being used by Wile E. Coyote while trying to catch the Roadrunner, and today we'll try to fix some of those products, to at least make them useful and give poor Wile a chance. First we have this personal rocket. It's not explicitly branded ACME, but let's assume it is. The rocket was meant to launch Wile forward to catch the Roadrunner, but instead it took off vertically. The thrust nozzle looks perfectly fine and aimed forward, so the issue likely isn't with that. The problem could be a misfire in the ignition sequence, or even a delayed thrust vector that kicks in after liftoff and redirects the rocket unexpectedly. In rocketry, even a small imbalance or mistimed force can throw everything off. Wherever the cause, Wile definitely got scammed with this one. Fixing it would require installing a proper guidance system and adding redundant safety checks to prevent any unexpected thrust vector changes mid-flight. Second, we have the super outfit, which supposedly grants its user the ability to fly, but it doesn't because it's just a normal suit. A simple fix would be to replace the whole suit with a glider, meaning the user would use wings to take off from heights and use air currents to glide. Real flight requires either continuous thrust or taking advantage of air pressure differences with winds. After that we have this fridge contraption, which in fact is a combination of many products, but I will treat it as one product for the sake of this video. What's happening is that the fridge is making ice and sending it through a meat grinder to create snow on the ground, Wile then uses a pair of skis to slide on that ice. The problem with it is that it has no brakes and quickly runs out of ice. I don't think this contraption can be fixed because the whole idea is impractical. Instead, perhaps a pair of wheels could be used to take advantage of gravity on hilltops without wasting energy on ice production. After that, meet the ACME catapult, a big rock launcher which is supposed to send projectiles forward towards the intended target. The problem is the release mechanism fails to work at all, and the rock simply falls back onto Wile. To fix this, the release mechanism itself needs to be redesigned. Catapults work by pulling back the throwing arm, storing potential energy in twisted ropes or springs. When released, this stored energy rapidly launches the projectile. However, if the release mechanism is jammed, broken, or poorly designed, the energy might not be transferred effectively, so the projectile will just remain in place or even fall backward. Next, we have a cannon that goes backwards while leaving the cannonball in place, which is really cartoonish. The explosive force reflected somehow and reversed the intended motion. Cannons follow Newton's third law. The exploding gunpowder pushes the cannonball forward and the cannon backward, but because the cannon is so heavy, it barely moves. As a verdict, I think Wile should sue the ACME Corporation for selling him faulty products that resulted in physical injury and don't work as promised. You should also know that some of the products were made by the Roadrunner manufacturing company and were sold to Wile to sabotage him in his pursuits. Said company should also be sued for intentionally inflicting physical damage on the Coyote.